Hi everyone, and today I'm going to be making a video discussing the importance of societal acceptance when you have Tourette's. So I believe that as Tourettic individuals, we need to be valued for who we are as an individual, and we need to feel empowered to speak up for ourselves, and we shouldn't be asked to change. People shouldn't try to change us and fit us into a box and try to stop us ticking, because of course we can't control it. And we should be given the support we need to fulfil our potential and feel safe in an inclusive society. And I think that it's vital because Tourette's is a very misunderstood condition, but the more awareness we raise, the more accepting society will be. Therefore, we'll be more at ease in public and be able to get the support we really need. And I think this is important because when we're accepted, it does wonders for our self-esteem and confidence. Because if someone isn't supported or isn't accepted, then unfortunately we're likely to feel like an inconvenience, and that is very upsetting because nobody should ever feel ashamed of having Tourette's or any condition at all. But I think that if, for example, we're not accepted and people are complaining about our tics and stuff, it's important to know that they actually annoy us more than they annoy other people, although I do understand that they can be disruptive, but to us as an individual, we can't walk away from them. And I think we need to be, of course we need our struggles acknowledged so that we can get support, but I believe we also need to focus on an individual's strengths. And I think that's really important, because when we focus on strengths, we feel encouraged to build and work on them. And I can say that this really helps in a education environment, so school, college, university, something like that, and maybe even in the workplace. Because if I give you an example, year 4 I had just started with my sudden onset severe Tourette's. Luckily, I had a wonderful teacher who was very supportive and encouraged my creative abilities, and he really helped me develop confidence that early on at my onset. And as another example, in year 9 I had a really wonderful drama teacher who encouraged my sort of participation in the school production and stuff, and she was really wonderful as well and made me realise that my Tourette's shouldn't stop me doing anything. So it does really make a difference when we are celebrated for our strengths rather than just focusing on our difficulties. And I believe that when we are accepted, we are comfortable to talk and let our voice be heard and ask for support. And that is important because we need to ask for support to be able to get it. And when we get the support, we'll actually do better. So it is really, really important to feel understood. And I also think that we shouldn't be forced to try and change. Please, if you know someone with Tourette's, don't try to change us. We have to, of course, if it's causing difficulties, then you can support us in finding treatment options and management strategies that can reduce the impact of the condition. But if something isn't bothering the individual, then there's always ways to work around it, and you don't have to try and change who we are, because I believe that any treatment option or management strategy is the individual's choice as long as they understand it. And even if it's a child, they still can have a say and understand the pros and cons, because people have a right to know what's going on with their body and people have a right to know about their condition. And I believe that also, if we're in an accepting environment where we know people understand Tourette's and aren't going to react negatively, then we become less anxious, therefore we tic less. So it does really help in every aspect, really, because if we're in an environment where we don't know how people are going to react, our tics actually get worse, because our tics are wondering if they're going to get a reaction, therefore they get worse. It's not us trying to get a reaction, but it's the tics. They get worse because they don't know what's going to happen, what people are going to say, how people are going to react, if they're going to be angry or not. Whereas when we're in a safe environment and people react neutrally and not extreme or anything, then we know that it's okay to just let ourselves tic and we don't have to worry about anything, and we know that our tics aren't going to try to mortify us or get a reaction because it's not going to work. But yes, how do we create societal acceptance? The main point is raising awareness, and we can raise awareness by talking about our experiences. That can be on social media or to friends, or asking for support when you need it. That's really important. And correcting any misinformation. For example, people might make Tourette's jokes, but you could just say, I acknowledge your perspective, but it's actually a lot more serious. It's not how you view it. And just speak your truth and tell people that the misinformation isn't correct and this is what you need and stuff. Because Tourette's is very individual, of course, and it's very diverse, but people might make assumptions based on that, and they make assumptions based on the stereotypes. I know for me, I always used to worry that people would think it's a behavioural problem, and it's not. Obviously, it's a neurological condition that's completely out of our control. But once we get people to understand that it isn't our fault at all, then we don't feel ashamed, we don't feel like an inconvenience, and we're allowed to be ourselves and not just be our Tourette's, but be who we are with the Tourette's. And I think that's really important. But please don't try to change us, but support us. And if we do need sort of treatment to reduce the symptoms and have a better quality of life, then you can help us do that. But please don't force anything. I remember my school was amazing and stuff. I remember once the Senko contacted my dad and asked if I can go on more medication, but we had to explain that it wasn't that simple. But to be fair, my tics weren't bothering me at that point. It was actually other people's reactions, really. But I believe that let the individual take the lead on what we think would help us, because we know ourselves best, of course. But yes, I hope this video has been informative. Please comment down below how you feel if you're not accepted and stuff. Obviously, it's really horrible if we face discrimination in public. It can be very humiliating, of course. But once we're accepted, we'll be able to thrive, really. Thrive as the individuals who we are. And I also think that we should all share our experiences, because we can't really get the word out there about Tourette's unless we ourselves share it, because we know best, because we're the people who live with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!